My name is Caleb Alvarado. I am an artist, designer, and photographer. My project is Inspirations, Human Connection, a portrait series. Back in 2007, our studio class, we took a trip to Mexico City, and our program was to design a social service program that dealt with a very wealthy community a wealthy community together with a poorer community, since they shared the same piece of land. As a class, we struggled. We proposed one idea and another idea, but it all failed. Because when you're in design school, regardless of what you are, you get infatuated with a cool design or a very sexy design and very expensive materials, but a lot of times we forget what's the most important thing: people connecting to people. Fast forward a year, while doing my thesis in South Phoenix, I was born in South Phoenix. I was raised in South Phoenix. I thought I knew everything about South Phoenix. I proposed one thing and another thing, but it all failed. And then one day my teacher came up to me and he said, "You have to forget everything you think you know about South Phoenix and actually listen. You have to become vulnerable." Now let's stop there for a second. A lot of people think the idea of vulnerability has a very negative connotation. It does, but at the same time, it allows you to be completely open. If we take kids, for example, very young age, they're completely vulnerable. They're open, they're open-minded, they're curious about everything. They learn, they imitate us. As we grow, we forget those kind of things. So let's look at vulnerability as a positive thing. I've always loved photography. I've always taken pictures. I would always carry my camera wherever I went. It was to the barber shop, to the store. I'd go to church services. Wherever I'd go, I'd carry my camera. So from there, I started to take on the journey of trying to figure out how people connected. I could see it in my photographs, but I couldn't put it into words or actually put it into some of the design. I started to ask myself, what is human connection? How can we forget about trends, titles, social ideas, and actually get down to the core of what makes us human emotions? Well, human emotions are complex. They're internal and external reactions to us being stimulated. If it's thoughts, we all get sad, we all cry, we all get upset. But we all share emotions. So this is where my project started. I came up with a series of questions. Questions such as, what is human emotion? What is human connection? Can emotions create an atmosphere or space? Do you think human connection is emotions through inspirations? For me, it is. So when you connect with someone on a different level, it might be an inspiration. What is your most intimate space? What is vulnerability? So I started to take portraits of people this was the first part, people who inspire me. I started off with people such as John Munier. He's the Dean of Architecture at Arizona State University, a former dean. And I started asking him these questions. And these are all people that, for me, that inspired me, whether it be their work, their lifestyle, their mentorship. But it was people who inspire. A lot of times, inspirations for people, it's like someone you see on TV or a celebrity. But for me, it was actually people who are doing real work and really connecting to people. I interviewed people as Luis Cruz Martinez. He was the first architect that actually took me under his wings, that really started talking to me about there's more than just design. There's more than just materials. My father's a minister. I'd always looked at my father as just being a father, but then I started to realize how he would give everything that he had to help people, regardless of who they were or where they came from. Interviewed my mother. My mother would give her shirt off her back. She would give her last penny to anyone. But it's people really connecting to people, regardless of who they are, regardless of their background, regardless of their race, regardless of their sexual orientation. There's more to life than just what you see on TV and social media. It's about people connecting to people, really trying to interact with each other and really listening to other people. Dr. Alfredo Los Santos, professor at Arizona State University. He always talked to me that it doesn't matter what title you have. It doesn't matter where you come from. We're all human. We all have emotions. We all can learn from each other. We can all grow from each other. Ernesto Yerna. He is an artist, community organizer. Sandra Castro Solis, or my sister actually, Sarah Diaz, an instructor, a musician. Her whole life is about teaching young kids, giving everything she has. Sandra Castro Solis, listening to really what the community needs, really exploring. Lourdes Lee Vasquez, filmmaker. And Claudio Vexstein, my thesis advisor. He's the one that told me that I needed to forget everything I thought I knew and actually listen. Because the idea, if we don't listen, then we're actually putting up a wall and it doesn't allow us to grow. So, part 2. I'm starting to interview everyday people that I find in the streets. He ran for state senator, Victor Jet Contreras. Just people every day asking them, what is human connection? What is human interaction? How can we actually learn from each other? If we don't sit down and we don't actually listen to each other, then we're not going to grow. Carissa Gutierrez. So, and part 3, I want to involve you. I want to ask you guys these same questions. What is human connection? What is human emotion? How can we actually listen to each other and how can we grow from each other? Let us all use vulnerability in a positive manner. Don't look at it as a negative manner. Listen to people, grow from each other, exchange resources. So hold yourself accountable. Every day what you do, hold yourself accountable. Listen and learn from others. Don't always put yourself first. That's the most important thing I can tell you guys. Thank you very much. My name is Caleb Alvarado, and this is my project.